The Cooper Union for the Advancement of Science and Art, commonly known as Cooper Union or the Cooper Union and informally referred to, especially during the 19th century, as the Cooper Institute, is a privately funded college located in Cooper Square in the East Village neighborhood of Manhattan, New York City. Inspired in 1830 when Peter Cooper learned about the government-supported École Polytechnique in France, Cooper Union was established in 1859. The school was built on a radical new model of American higher education, based on founder Peter Cooper's fundamental belief that an education equal to the best technology schools then established should be accessible to those who qualify, independent of their race, religion, sex, wealth or social status, and should be open and free to all. The Cooper Union originally granted each admitted student a full tuition scholarship. That policy has been eliminated beginning with the class entering in the fall of 2014. Although every incoming student receives at the very least a half tuition merit scholarship, the college is divided into 3 schools: the Erwin S. Chainin School of Architecture, the School of Art, and the Albert Nurkan School of Engineering. It offers undergraduate and master's degree programs exclusively in the fields of architecture, fine arts, and engineering. It is a member of the Accreditation Board for Engineering and Technology and the Association of Independent Colleges of Art and Design. Cooper Union is ranked at number 2 in the Regional Colleges category by U.S. News & World Report. Drive. Jamshid Baruchar has succeeded George Campbell, Jr. as the college's 12th president. Cooper Union was one of very few American institutions of higher learning to offer a full tuition scholarship, valued at approximately $150,000 of 2012 to every admitted student. Cooper Union has historically been one of the most selective colleges in the United States, with an acceptance rate typically below 10%. Both the art and architecture schools have acceptance rates below 5%. Cooper Union received 2,536 applications for the 2014-2015 academic year and its acceptance rate was 15%. As a result of its record low acceptance ratio for the fall 2010 incoming class, Cooper Union was named by Newsweek as the #1 most desirable small school, and #7 most desirable school, overall. History. Founding and early history. The Cooper Union was founded in 1859 by American industrialist Peter Cooper, who was a prolific inventor, successful entrepreneur, and one of America's richest businessmen at the time. Cooper was a workingman's son who had less than a year of formal schooling, yet went on to become an industrialist and inventor. Cooper designed and built America's first steam railroad engine, and made a fortune with a glue factory and iron foundry. After achieving wealth, he turned his entrepreneurial skills to successful ventures in real estate, insurance and railroads. He was a principal investor and first president of the New York, Newfoundland and London Telegraph Co., which laid the first transatlantic telegraph cable, and once ran for president under the Greenback Party, becoming the oldest person ever nominated for the presidential election. Cooper's dream was to give talented young people the one privilege he lacked: a good education from an institution which was open and free to all. He also wished to make possible the development of talent that otherwise would have gone undiscovered. To achieve these goals, Cooper designated the majority of his wealth, primarily in the form of real estate holdings, to the creation and funding of the Cooper Union, a tuition-free school with courses made freely available to any applicant. Although at the institution's beginning, according to the New York Times in 1863, those only are supposed to pay anything who are abundantly able, or prefer to do so, discrimination based on ethnicity, religion, or sex was expressly prohibited. Originally intended to be named simply the Union, the Cooper Union began with adult education in night classes on the subjects of applied sciences and architectural drawing. as well as de classes primarily intended for women on the subjects of photography, telegraphy, typewriting and shorthand in what was called the college's female school of design. The early institution also consisted of a free reading room open day and night, and a new 4-year nighttime engineering college for men and a few women. A daytime engineering college was added in 1902 thanks to funds contributed by Andrew Carnegie. Initial board members included Daniel F. Tiemann, John E. Parsons, Horace Greeley and William Cullen Bryant, and those who availed themselves of the Institute's courses in its early days included Augustus St. Gaudens, Thomas Alva Edison and William Francis Deegan. The Cooper Union's free classes, a landmark in American history and the prototype for what is now called continuing education, have evolved into 3 schools: the School of Art, the Irwin S. Chanin School of Architecture and the Albert Nurkan School of Engineering. Peter Cooper's dream of providing an education equal to the best has since become reality. Since 1859, the Cooper Union has educated thousands of artists, architects and engineers, many of them leaders in their fields. After 1864 there were a few attempts to merge Cooper Union and Columbia University, but these were never realized. The Cooper Hewitt National Design Museum was founded in 1897 as part of Cooper Union by Sarah, Eleanor, and Amy Hewitt, granddaughters of Peter Cooper. Structural building era. The foundation building. Cooper Union's foundation building is an Italianate brownstone building designed by architect Fred A. Peterson, one of the founders of the American Institute of Architects. It was the first structure in New York City to feature rolled iron I-beams for structural support. Peter Cooper himself invented and produced these beams. Peterson patented a fire-resistant hollow brick tile he used in the building's construction. The building was the first in the world to be built with an elevator shaft because Cooper, in 1853, was confident an elevator would soon be invented. The building was declared a National Historic Landmark in 1961, and a New York City Landmark in 1965. The foundation building's Great Hall on February 27, 1860. The school's Great Hall, located in the basement level of the foundation building, became the site of an historic address by Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln's dramatic speech opposed Stephen A. Douglas on the question of federal power to regulate and limit the spread of slavery to the federal territories and new states. Widely reported in the press and reprinted throughout the North in pamphlet form. The speech galvanized support for Lincoln and contributed to his gaining the party's nomination for the presidency. It is now referred to as the Cooper Union Address. Since then, the Great Hall has served as a platform for historic addresses by American presidents Grant, Cleveland, Taft, Theodore Roosevelt, Woodrow Wilson, and Bill Clinton. Clinton spoke on May 12, 1993 about reducing the federal deficit and again on May 23, 2006. As the keynote speaker at the Cooper Union's 147th commencement along with Anna Deva Smith. He appeared a third time on April 23, 2007, along with Senator Edward Kennedy, Henry Kissinger, Norman Mailer, and others, at the memorial service for historian Arthur M. Schlesinger, Jr. Most recently, Barack Obama delivered an economic policy speech at Cooper Union's Great Hall on April 22, 2010. In addition to addresses by political figures, the Great Hall hosts semi-annual meetings of the New York City Rent Control Board, as well as incidental organized protests and recreational events. It is the stage for Cooper Union's commencement ceremony as well as the annual student orientation meeting for incoming freshman students. Cooper Union's Great Hall was also the site of the school's inauguration, whose primary address was given by Mark Twain. The Great Hall also continues to serve as an important metropolitan arts space and has hosted lectures and performances by such key figures as Joseph Campbell, Steve Reich, Salman Rushdie, Ralph Nader, Hamza Yusuf, Richard Stallman, Rudolph Giuliani, Pema Chodron, Michael Bloomberg, Evo Morales, and Venezuelan President Hugo Chavez. When not occupied by external or hosted events, the Great Hall is made accessible to students and faculty for large lectures and recreational activities, including the school's annual cultural show. The hall's audio-visual resources are operated by a student staff under faculty management, as part of Cooper Union's extensive work-study employment program, though some high-profile hosted events are operated by professional staff. In 1994, the Cooper Union Forum of Public Programs was honored with a Village Award from the Greenwich Village Society for Historic Preservation. In late 2008, the Great Hall was closed to students and outside events for the first major renovation of the hall since 1978. This renovation and redecoration was overseen by Sam Anderson Architects, a firm created and led by Cooper Union School of Architecture alumni, while the Arab Acoustics Company was responsible for analysis and renovation of the hall's acoustic profile, which included installation of modern sound diffusion paneling on the rear walls. The audience seats, which had not been altered since a prior renovation in 1906, were replaced by modern seating designed to replicate the unique shape of the original furniture. In addition, the audio, visual and lighting systems of the Great Hall were updated to modern standards, including installation of ceiling-mounted digital projectors and intelligent lighting fixtures, to meet the increasing demands of hosted and student events. The hallway and lobby leading to the Great Hall were also redecorated during the renovation period, with additions featuring historical information and primary source documents relevant to the space. Modern changes. The Cooper Union evolved over time into its current form, featuring schools in architecture, fine art, and engineering. At present, these three fields represent Cooper Union's degree programs. The Faculty of Humanities and Social Studies provides classes and faculty to all three programs. In September 1992, Cooper Union opened its Student Residence Hall, located across 3rd Avenue from the Foundation Building, as the school's first ever on-campus housing resource. This apartment-style dormitory provides living space for 178 students, or approximately 1/5 of the school's student population. In addition to resident assistants, the residence hall provides living spaces for incoming freshman students of all three schools. New first-year students are not required to live in the dormitory building, unlike housing policies of many other universities. Remaining space in the building, when available, is allocated to upper-class students based on individual housing needs. Modern curricular changes include the consolidation of the School of Engineering's interdisciplinary engineering major and BSc program. After faculty reviews of the two programs yielded votes of no confidence and concerns of limited support. In addition, the engineering school curricula have been recently updated to allow for greater flexibility in scheduling and elective course selection. 41 Cooper Square, a new classroom, laboratory, and studio facility designed by Tom Main of Morphosis Architecture with associate architect Grusin Sampton completed construction in summer 2009, replacing the aging Hewitt Academic Building at 41 Cooper Square. In contrast to the Foundation Building, 41 Cooper Square is of modern, environmentally green design, housing 9 above-ground floors and 2 basements. The structural features unconventional architectural features, including a full-height ground atrium, prevalent interior windows, a 4-story linear central staircase, and upper-level skyways, which reflect the design intention of inspiring, socially interactive space for students and faculty. In addition, the building's design allows for up to 75% natural lighting, further reducing energy costs. Other green features in the design include servo-controlled external wall panels, which can be swiveled open or closed individually in order to regulate interior light and temperature, as well as motorized drapes on all exterior windows. In 2010, 41 Cooper Square became the first academic and laboratory structure in New York City to meet platinum-level LEED standards for energy efficiency. The building was funded largely by alumni donations, materialized in nameplates and other textual recognition throughout the building. Primarily designed to house the Cooper Union's School of Engineering and School of Art. The new building's first 8 above-ground floors are populated by classrooms, small engineering laboratories, study lounges, art studio space, and faculty offices. The 9th top floor is dedicated completely to School of Art studio and classroom space in addition to the art studio spaces located throughout the building. The lowest basement level consists almost completely of the school's large machine shops and design laboratories, as well as much of the HVAC and supply infrastructure. The building's first basement level houses primarily the Frederick P. Rose Auditorium, a 198-capacity lecture hall and event space designed as a smaller, more modern alternative to the Great Hall. In addition, the first basement's Menschel Conference Room provides a high-profile space for meetings and classes, and features a high-definition video conferencing system linked to 2 other similar spaces in the upper floors of the building. Connecting the first 4 floors of 41 Cooper Square is the linear grand staircase, which is used both for transportation and as a recreational space for students. Higher floors are connected by floating interior skyways, in addition to 2 standard corner staircases and 3 passenger elevators. At the peak of the grand staircase is the Ware and Drucker Student Lounge, which houses a small cafeteria service for students, as well as a relaxed, naturally lit study location. Financial support. A substantial portion of the annual budget, which supports the full tuition scholarships in addition to the school's costs, is generated through donations from alumni in both the public and the private sector. In addition, real estate has become a very important asset to the college and has drastically increased its endowment to over $600 million. The land under the Chrysler Building is owned by the endowment, and as of 2009, Cooper Union received $7 million per year from this parcel. Further, under a very unusual arrangement, New York City real estate taxes assessed against the Chrysler lease, held by Tishman Speyer, are paid to Cooper Union, not the city. This arrangement would be voided if Cooper Union sold the real estate. In 2006, Tishman Speyer signed a deal with the school to pay rent that will escalate to $32.5 million in 2018, $41 million in 2028 and $55 million in 2038. Cooper Union Investment Committee member John Michelson acknowledged to the Wall Street Journal that Tishman Speyer would not have signed a generous agreement like that had it been approached in 2009. Financial crisis and tuition controversy. Around October 29, 2011, rumors circulated that the school was in serious financial trouble. On October 31, a series of open forums were held with students, faculty, and alumni to address the crisis. Current and past students voiced opposition to the plan on social networking sites and print publications. The president of the school, Jamshid Baruchar, indicated that depletion of the school's endowment required additional sources of funding. A possible tuition levy and more pointed solicitation of alumni donations and research grants were being considered to offset recent financial practices such as liquidating assets and spending heavily on 41 Cooper Square, a controversial new academic building. On April 24, 2012, the college announced approval from its Board of Trustees to attempt to establish a new tuition-based cross-disciplinary graduate program, expand its fee-based continuing education programs, and impose tuition on some students in its existing graduate programs, effective September 2013. In December 2012, as a protest against the possibility of undergraduate tuition being charged, 11 students occupied a suite in the Foundation building for a week. Solicitation of additional endowment to support the free tuition policy was complicated by the school's policy of granting full tuition scholarships to wealthy students. Charging high tuition was complicated by the school's lack of customary amenities offered by other high tuition schools. On April 23, 2013, The New York Times reported that the college had announced that it would end its free tuition policy for undergraduates beginning in fall 2014. The administration maintained that they would continue to offer need-based tuition remission to incoming undergraduates on a sliding scale. On May 8, 2013, a group of students occupied President Jamshid Baruch's office in protest over the end of the free tuition policy. The administration, Board of Trustees, and those members of the Cooper Union community who had been occupying the office of the president since early May reached an agreement that ended the occupation on July 12. Throughout 2013, 2014, and 2015, the Committee to Save Cooper Union, a coalition of former and current students, alumni and faculty, campaigned to reverse this decision, urging the President and the Board of Trustees to return Cooper Union to its tuition-free and merit-based mission, ensure the school's fiscal recovery, and establish better governance structures. On September 1, 2015, the school and the Committee to Save Cooper Union announced that the committee's lawsuit against the school's administration was resolved in the form of a consent decree signed by Cooper Union, New York State's Attorney General Eric Schneiderman, and the CSCU. The decree included provisions for returning to a sustainable, tuition-free policy, increased board transparency, additional student, faculty and alumni trustees, an independent financial monitor appointed by the Attorney General, and a search committee to identify the next full-term president.